Hello friends, today we will discuss about algebra of limits. Limit of x tends to a f plus or minus gx, that is addition or subtraction of two functions f and g. This will be equal to limit x tends to a f of x plus or minus, accordingly limit x tends to a g of x, that is limit of f plus g is equal to limit of f plus limit of g. Similarly, limit of f into g, that is product of two functions f and g, when x approaches a, this is equal to product of the limit of fx and the limit of gx, that is limit x tends to a f of x multiplied with limit x tends to a g of x. Similarly, limit x tends to a f upon g x is equal to limit x approaches a fx limit upon limit x approaches a gx, provided limit x approaching a g of x is not equal to 0, that is the denominator is not equal to 0. The fourth case is when we multiply a scalar with a function, limit x approaching a k times f of x, this will be equal to k times the limit of f of x approaching 0. The fifth one says that limit of mod of f of x, that will be equal to mod of limit of f of x, mod of limit of f of x approaching a, limit of fx raised to gx, limit x tends to a fx whole raised to gx, this will be equal to limit x approaching a fx whole raised to limit x approaching a g of x. The seventh one says that limit x approaching a log of f of x, this will be equal to log of limit of f of x, log of limit x approaching a f of x. The eighth one says that limit x approaching a e raised to f of x, limit x approaching a e raised to f of x, this will be equal to e raised to limit x approaching a f of x, that is e raised to limit x approaching a f of x. The ninth one says that when limit x approaches a f of x is positive infinity or negative infinity, either way we can say that infinity, limit x approaching a f of x equal to infinity, positive or negative doesn't matter, then when we'll take limit x approaches a 1 upon f of x, that will be equal to 0, that will be equal to 1 upon infinity, and that is equal to 0. So whenever we find fx limit x approaching a is equal to infinity, whether it is positive or negative, then limit of 1 upon f of x when x approaches the same point a is equal to 0. The 10th one says that if fx is always lesser equal to gx, and that up to in the neighborhood of a certain constant about which we are considering the limit of f and g. Here it's a. Then the limit of f of x at that point will be same lesser equal to the limit g of x when x approaches a. These are all the points for algebra of limits.